Ethan Cole checked his watch for the third time, wondering if he'd been stood up. The modern cafe in downtown Seattle buzzed with the midday rush. Business meetings, laptops open, people juggling coffee and deadlines. His assistant had insisted this meeting was important and personal, which usually meant one thing, another one of her creative attempts to set him up. At 35, Ethan was the CEO of Coltech Industries, a company his father had founded, and he'd transformed into a leader in renewable energy. Successful, respected, and chronically single. That was Ethan's unofficial title. He was debating whether to leave when a young woman approached his table. She was striking, with chestnut brown hair that fell in soft waves, wearing a tailored navy skirt and a pale pink blouse. But what caught Ethan's attention wasn't her looks. It was the emotion in her expression, nervous, determined, grateful. "Mr. Cole?" she asked softly. "That's me," Ethan replied, standing automatically. "Are you my mystery appointment?" "I am," she said, extending her hand. "I'm Lily Morgan. Thank you for meeting me." As they sat, Ethan studied her face, trying to place where he might have seen her before. Something about her seemed familiar, yet he couldn't pin it down. "I have to admit," he said, smiling politely, "my assistant didn't tell me much. She said someone needed to thank me, but I'm completely lost." "Have we met before?" Lily took a steadying breath. Her eyes glistened, her voice trembling just slightly. "We've met, though you probably don't remember. It was 10 years ago. I was 14 and you saved my life." Ethan's heart skipped. "I what?" "You were 25 then," Lily said, her voice quiet but clear. "It was late, raining hard, and you were driving home. Do you remember stopping on a bridge?" The memory hit him like a faint echo from another life. A dark, rainy night, the screech of his tires, a figure on the edge. For years, he'd tried to push that night from his mind, telling himself it was just a strange, surreal encounter. "I remember stopping," he said slowly. "There was someone on the railing." "That was me," Lily said, tears slipping down her cheeks. "I was 14 and ready to jump. I'd been bullied for years. My parents were going through a brutal divorce and blamed each other through me. I felt invisible, worthless. I thought the world would be better off without me." She clasped her trembling hands together. "Then you stopped your car." Ethan's throat tightened. The images came rushing back, his car door slamming, rain drenching his suit, the terrified girl clinging to the edge of the bridge. "I remember," he whispered. "You were shaking. I was terrified you'd fall. You didn't yell or lecture," Lily said. "You just stood there talking to me like I mattered, like I was human. Do you remember what you said?" Ethan thought hard. "I told you I'd felt the same way once," he said slowly. "That I'd lost my mom in a crash when I was 17, and I didn't think I'd make it through. Someone told me that pain doesn't last forever, but death does. I guess I passed those words on to you." "You did," Lily said, her voice breaking. "You stood in the rain for over an hour. You told me I didn't have to survive the rest of my life all at once, just one more day. You said, 'Be brave for one more day.'" Ethan swallowed hard, emotions swelling in his chest. "I said that because that's what someone once told me. And it saved me, too. You called a hotline for me," Lily continued, tears now flowing freely. "You waited until someone came. You didn't even tell me your name until I asked. Then you said, 'You'll forget my name someday, but not the words.' That's what matters." "I tried to find out what happened," Ethan said quietly, "but I couldn't. Privacy laws. I never knew if you were okay." "I got help," Lily said, smiling through tears. "Therapy, medication, support. My parents finally realized what they were doing. I changed schools. I started healing. It wasn't easy, but I made it. Because of you." She pulled out her phone and showed him pictures, graduation caps, smiling faces, a young woman standing on a stage holding a degree. "I graduated with a degree in psychology," she said proudly. "I'm starting my master's in counseling this fall. I want to help teenagers like I once was." "Because of what you did." Ethan looked at the photos, speechless. "Lily, I didn't do anything extraordinary. I just stopped my car." "You did something no one else did," she said firmly. "You saw me. You made me believe my life had worth. That changed everything." Ethan's eyes blurred. "I'm so proud of you," he whispered, "for surviving, for turning your pain into purpose." They talked for hours. Lily told him about her plans to work with at-risk teens. Ethan shared how he'd built Coltech around his father's values, second chances, rebuilding, helping people start again. "You did what your father did," Lily said softly. "You turned loss into light." "I try," Ethan admitted. "But lately I've been wondering if I'm really making a difference, or just running a company." "You made a difference to me," she said simply. "And to the lives I'll touch." As they stood to leave, Lily reached into her bag and handed him an envelope. "I've written you many letters over the years. This one I want you to keep." After she left, Ethan sat back down, unfolding the letter. In it, Lily told the story of the last decade, the battles with depression, the small victories, the moments she nearly gave up, but remembered his words. She wrote about graduation, friendships, love, and finding meaning in survival. But the final paragraph made him stop breathing. "You told me someone out there needed me to survive that night. You were right. Last year, during my internship at a crisis hotline, a girl called 16 on the same bridge. I used your words. I told her to be brave for one more day. She's alive because of what you taught me. The ripples of your kindness are still spreading." Ethan wiped his eyes, reading that last line over and over. He called his assistant that night. "How did she find me?" "She tracked you through LinkedIn," she said. "Said she'd been searching for years. When she told me what you'd done, I knew you'd want to meet her." "You were absolutely right," Ethan said quietly. That meeting changed everything for him. He stopped measuring success by profits and started measuring impact. Within months, he launched the Cole Foundation, a nonprofit dedicated to mental health initiatives for teens and young adults. He funded school programs, crisis lines, and therapist training. And twice a month, he volunteered on the hotline himself, using the same words that had once saved him. And then 2 years later, he stood backstage at the opening of a new youth wellness center his foundation had funded. The keynote speaker, Dr. Lily Morgan. After the ceremony, they found themselves alone in the center's quiet library. "Ethan," Lily said softly, "I need to tell you something." "What's that?" "When I first found you, it was just to thank you. But over these 2 years, getting to know you, watching you live the words you once gave me, I've fallen in love with you." Ethan's heart thudded. He'd felt the same pull but fought it. "Lily, I don't want you to mistake gratitude for—" "I'm not," she interrupted gently. "I've had therapy, relationships, a full life. I know what I feel. I love you for who you are now, not just for what you did," he smiled faintly. "Then I'll stop pretending I don't feel the same." A year later, they married in a small ceremony at the center they'd built together. Instead of gifts, they asked for donations to suicide prevention programs. Their vows spoke not of fairy tales, but of second chances, survival, and the duty to help others keep living. 10 years later, Ethan and Lily stood together on that same bridge in Seattle. Their 8-year-old daughter, Grace, held their hands as they unveiled a small plaque that read, "You are not alone. Your life has value. Be brave for one more day. Crisis helpline. Call any time." "Why do we come here every year?" Grace asked. Because this is where your dad saved my life, Lily said softly, and where we both learned that caring enough to stop and listen can change everything. Ethan looked out at the water, squeezing his wife's hand. It's where I learned that our smallest choices can echo for decades. Grace smiled up at them. When I grow up, I want to help people be brave too. You already do, Lily said, pulling her daughter close. You're living proof that one act of kindness can create generations of hope. Because on a rainy night 24 years earlier, one man had stopped his car and in doing so, set in motion a chain of compassion that would never end. If this story moved you, remember, your kindness can save a life. Share this story to spread hope. And if you or someone you know is struggling, please reach out to a crisis helpline. You matter. Your life has meaning. Be brave for one more day.